everyone, once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and today we're going to not only unveil our track and field schedule, but we're also going to talk about how our basketball teams did against IU Kokomo. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about this track and field schedule with head coach Brett Crowley. Coach, thanks for joining me.
No problem, Caleb. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's dig into this schedule for 2015 a little bit. The first meet is going to be the Anderson University Invite on February 28th. What do you expect to see there?
First of all, we're going to be indoors. It'll be our first meet and first competition since we started training in January. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do. Won't be the same as our outdoor competitions in terms of setup, but overall it will give us a chance to start our season off and be fairly close to home and kind of see where we're at with our training. What's that invite normally like? Usually there are several Division 2 or 3 schools. It's held at the Anderson indoor facility. It's kind of a last-ditch effort for the schools that have a full-fledged indoor season to get into NAIA National or NCAA Nationals. And so there'll be a lot of good competition there from mostly Anderson's NCAA Division III conference as well as several others. So, and there'll be some NAIA schools there represented as well. So for us, it's just an opportunity to, they're getting tired of practicing, right, especially at 6 in the morning. So it gives us an opportunity to go compete and see where we're at. Well, after that, you have nearly a month off from competing. That trip is going to be March 21st. The Transylvania University Invite, what do you expect to see there as well? Well, first of all, I don't know if it's a month off. They're going to train pretty hard in between the Anderson meet, but hopefully I'm expecting a little warmer weather. And traditionally, we've gone to Wabash for our first meet in the middle of March. We've had all sorts of weather conditions from being very warm to being extremely cold. So we're hoping the competition at Transylvania will be very good. We'll see some NCAA and mostly some NAIA schools in the Central Kentucky region. Possibly even Berea will be there, along with Thomas More and Center College and the host Transylvania. But most importantly, it'll be our first road trip for our freshmen on the track team. It'll be a good experience, I think, to get their feet wet and get used to what a road trip really is like for track. And how hard is that normally for the freshmen to adjust to what the road trips are like? Not too terribly hard. I think it's more about about the schedule of things. They're not used to having to be, and when we travel, everything has to go off fairly on time. So when Coach Crowley says the bus is going to leave at 7 a.m., he means 7 a.m., not 7:10 or 7:15. Right. So because we have to get, unlike with basketball, we have to be there at a certain time. The meet, in this case, at Transylvania will start right at noon. So for our early runners, and we're usually the distance runners, we need to be there about an hour and ahead of schedule. So just getting used to being on a schedule. It's probably the biggest adjustment I think our freshmen will have to make. Everything else they've seen from their previous high school competition. All right, well, the next one on the schedule is March 28th, the Hanover College Invite. Tell us about that one. Well, it'll be a good experience. We'll be seeing probably some of the best Division III competition in Indiana at that point outside of Little State, which we'll talk about here in a second. But the host Hanover, it gives us a chance, again, early on in March to go compete against Manchester and Hanover, some of the more established track programs in Indiana at the small college level. There'll be some NAIA competition there as well. Earlham usually brings a contingent of folks to compete at that particular meet. And again, another good road trip, another good preparation for everything we'll do, hopefully down the road in April for the conference meet. All right, from there you go back to Anderson University for the Easter Invite. What is the Easter Invite at Anderson? Primarily, that's an outdoor meet, unlike our first trip to Anderson, which will be indoors. That will be a full-fledged outdoor meet where we'll compete in relays as well as field events across the board, as well as the individual open races. So on a full-fledged 400-meter track, similar to Hanover, I think we'll see some good competition, but it's right before the holiday, and it gives us a chance in the middle of the week to see where we're at. And gives us a chance, I think, specifically to kind of hone who's going to be in the relay events at that juncture. So it'll be a good event for us across the board, fairly close to home too. So hopefully it'll allow not only parents but also some fans and other supporters of the Red Wolves to come see us. From there, you're going to travel to Indiana Wesleyan for the Little State Championships, which you mentioned a moment ago. What's the Little State Championships? Little State is probably next to the conference meet for us, and going to NAIA Nationals, probably one of the most prestigious things that we'll participate in track and field. almost every Indiana small college university is invited to this particular track meet at IWU. It's a 2-day event. Across the board, we will compete in a variety of events, and some of the best small college athletes in this particular sport will be there. So the competition is excellent. It's a great lead into what we'll do in April and May, and a great prep scenario. Some of the best schools in traditional track schools are really strong in Indiana, IWU, University of Indianapolis, Taylor, and so forth will be there, and will give us a chance again to cut our teeth and see what we're all about.
You also mentioned the kayak championships. That's going to be the 24th and 25th of April at Rio Grande. What do you expect to see there?
Well, this will be different. In years past, the KIC has been a one-day event. This will be a 2-day event where we'll actually see the race walk, 3,000-meter race walk, in addition to the heptathlon and the decathlon on the first day, and the 10,000-meter run for both men and women on the first day. And then it's a traditional track meet thereafter on day 2 on Saturday. So it's a good overnight stay for our team as a travel. It's the only one really we have outside of going to NAA Nationals. But more importantly, this is what we're doing all the training for, and the other meets are a lead up to. We're trying to get ready to prepare to go up against Rio Grande, our host. Point Park will be quite strong, along with Brescia. Alice Lloyd, I know, will field the team as well as we will. So that's what that meet will be all about, and everything else leading up to it.
Well, the next 2 events on the schedule, the first one's you get to travel to Bloomington for the Billy Hayes Invite, then also the NAIA Championships at the end of May. What do you expect to see at those 2 events?
Well, the Billy Hayes meet, traditionally sponsored by IU, is a last-ditch effort for not only IU athletes to get prepared for the Big Ten championships, but also to try to qualify for NCAA nationals. And it's been an opportunity for where we've had maybe 3 to 4 athletes who are very close to possibly qualifying for NAIA nationals to get a chance to have that opportunity to go. So it's a last-ditch qualifying meet for us. The unique part about it, that's at the home office. It's at Bloomington specifically, and they have beautiful facilities. And more importantly, our athletes get a chance to mix and mingle with Division I athletes in track, and it's a good lead-in. Obviously, hopefully, we'll have several students who may qualify earlier, but if not, Billy Hayes will be a lead-in to possibly qualify for NAIA Nationals, which will be in Gulf Shores, Alabama this year. Our own producer of this show has a chance specifically to go on Seth Prince in the marathon. So he's training for a half marathon and hopes of qualifying for the big marathon down there in Alabama.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining me, and good luck this season. There you have it, a look at the track and field schedule. For more information, be sure to go to iueredwolves.com. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. On February 5th, the women's basketball team defeated IU Kokomo here at home in Richmond with a score of 93-77. Tia King led the way for the Red Wolves with 21 points. Let's take a look at how our women's basketball team defeated IU Kokomo on a 24-5 run in the second half.
Back to a one-point game. The Red Wolves need to look inside right here and try to get a basket inside. And she does look inside to Kerrigan Niehoff. Niehoff looking for some room. Dryman goes down toward the basket as well. King takes the three. This one's going to fall. 72-68 and proves me wrong.
Well, that's good too when it actually falls, but
Red Wolves only shooting 9 of 31 beyond the arc in tonight's game. And this is going to be out of bounds to State Kokomo basketball. They've only got 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and they just now reset it to 30. 6:50 to play here in the second half.
And if you're the Red Wolves, the one thing I've noticed too, what cut the lead down to 1 was their lack of rotation. Like Crawford, both times was in the same exact spot. The defense didn't rotate. She made back-to-back three-pointers. So if you're on the defense, you got to get the rotation going.
Kenzie Campbell with the basket that time for IU East, puts them back up by 6. 74-68 with 6.5 to play. And Dryman brings it down the floor. Lob over to left corner to Campbell for the 3. This one falls as well. 77-68, starting to get a few to fall here late in the second half.
I don't think they took your advice about driving.
No, they haven't, but I will say that is one team this season that has been able to prove me wrong more than once. I'll give them credit on that. A missed shot down underneath that time by looked like DeWitt's. And no call down there. We do have a timeout on the floor, and the great Red Wolves team here has the lead, 77-68 with 5:51 to play. We'll be right back on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East women's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. 5:57 to play here at the Tiernan Center. And it's Kokomo basketball coming out of the timeout. Going to the right side as Felder finds Wagner. Wagner not able to get a shot or anything off, working it around. And here is a three-point shot in the left corner. Comes up short and picked up by Daisha Boyd. 5:40 to play as Boyd brings it down the floor. Driving over to King in the corner. Steps back for the 3. Seiler for 3. Gets it for a fall. 80-68. Seiler has 9 points in this matchup. And it's going to be another missed basket. Seiler gets the rebound. King brings it down the floor this time. Looks for some space in the lane. Gets it. And gets it to fall. 82-68.
You got to love the distribution of points in this game so far.
Down to 5 minutes to play in this conference matchup. The Red Wolves looking to go 6-4 in the North Division. 3-point shot here by, I believe that was Felder, gets it to fall, and 82-71 with 4:45 to play. Last time in this matchup, the final score was 92-83. There's a 3-point basket by Tia King. And it's 85-71 with 4:31 to play. And a timeout taken by head coach Whitney Ferris in her first season over there at IU Kokomo. And it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take a break and be right back on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East has the lead, 85-71 on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And back to more women's basketball on the IU East Red Wolves Sports Network. 85-71 the score here at the Tiernan Center in Richmond, Indiana. And the Red Wolves, of course, on top right now, 14-point lead with 4:20 to play. Over to the left corner, 3-point shot taken by the Cougars. Comes up off the front end of the iron. And the pass down the floor to Tia King. Gets this one to fall, 87-71. Tia King, a little bit of a run of her own here right now.
Past few possessions, it feels like she's been the spark that this Red Wolves team needs. At times when the game felt like it was kind of stalled. And now it's the point where every time Tia gets the ball, it seems like it's going in.
Down inside right now, and a basket for the Cougars. Looks like that one was by Williamson. And she picks up point number 7 in tonight's game. Here is Boyd trying to pass down low to Dryman. And 3:42 left to play. And the Red Wolves right now on top, 87-43. Down on the other end of the floor, Felder takes it underneath the basket. This one's going to be off the mark. Kenzie Seiler and Bailey Dryman fighting for the rebound. Campbell comes out with it, and she takes it down the lane, lays it in. It's going to be 89-73. Down on the other end of the floor, missed shot there by the Cougars. Here is a foul. This is going to put Boyd at the line to shoot 2. And this foul is going to go on number 30, Dejiana Butler picks up her 5th. And team foul number 6 on the Kokomo Cougars. And
for your Red Bulls, number 15. Mackenzie
Bowles, and the game for the Red Wolves. Red Wolves have a chance to hit the century mark for the 5th time this season tonight.
And they're actually 11-1 when they score 90 or more, so they're on great pace to make it 12-1.
Boyd hits both free throws. It's going to be 91-73. Three minutes to play here at the Tiernan Center. Felder inside the lane, doesn't get it to fall. And pass down the floor to Bowles. Bowles going to be off the mark, rebounded by Boyd with the putback, 93-73.
And the men's basketball team also defeated IU Kokomo in KIAC play with a final score of 74-60. Tyler Fingman led the way in scoring for IU East with 14 points, and Brad Hunt also set a new school record with 8 blocks. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Here in Richmond, down the right side, Tyler Fingman over to the right corner. And lob inside to Brad Hunt, who gets a good turnaround from about 8 feet out, 25-21. And talk about a guy that's due for a good game.
Yeah, simple turnaround there from Brad. A lot of times you see those guys, those big post guys, they catch the ball inside and immediately put the ball on the floor. And, you know, when you've already caught the ball at 6'9", you know, all you got to do from that close to the basket, just turn around and put it in. Drives coaches mad just seeing those guys put the ball on the floor when they don't have to.
And a foul there on Hunt. His first, team foul number 6 on the Red Wolves. Going to be inbounds to Teeter out on the right wing. He's going to try to take it down to the basket, kick out, and the three-point shot going to be off the mark for Jared Lawrence. Now 1 of 3 from three-point range. Here is Tyler Fangman out to Claypool on top. Sweeps and drives. This one's going to be and one for Claypool.
That brings a smile to Claypool's face. Guy that you don't see frustrated very often, smiles a lot, brings a lot of positive energy to this crew.
Foul was on Calhoun, picks up his second, team foul number 6. Both teams with 6 team fouls. And here's Claypool at the line to shoot one. He gets this one to fall. The Red Wolves now lead by 7. This is their largest lead of the game with 3.5 to play here in the first half. Here is, looks like Campbell with the ball over on the left side. It's going to be stopped there by Claypool on a timeout taken by Campbell with 3:20 left to play. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. 3:20 to go here in the first half. And the score, 28-21. The Red Wolves up with their largest lead in the game so far. 28-21, up by 7. Claypool right now defending Campbell, who was forced to call a timeout. Is trapped, and this one's going to be Red Wolves basketball. Out of bounds over on the far sideline.
Play by Jacoby brings another smile to his face. Guy that's not bothered by timeouts. He comes to play. He's ready to go all the time. Just came right out of that timeout. Brought the defensive pressure that Coach Mark Hester expects out of him and forces the turnover.
Over to the left side now, and it's going to be Fangman with the ball on the wing. Takes it out top and over to the right wing with Claypool down in the corner with Huffman. Huffman's going to drive and bring the ball back out to Fangman, who puts up a 3 from the right corner. This one falls. 41-21, up by 10. Pass down inside to number 14. That's Bo Dedmond. Another block there by Hunt. Make that 2 blocks there by Hunt. Claypool finds Huffman. He scores 55-43. Huffman now with his first basket of the game down the right side. And nothing there. Brad Hunt gets the recovery and gets it there with the steal also. 8:14 to play. Claypool thought about it. Kicks out to Vache Davis in the left corner. And finds Fangman in the left corner. Here's the 3, 58-43.
I was about to say Jacoby should have shot that one, but I guess 3 points is better than 2. So I guess we'll take the Tyler Fangman triple from the opposite corner.
Teeter with the ball, takes it in the lane, kicks out, and finds Campbell in the right corner. Shot clock down to 17, and pass down in is going to be tipped. Out of bounds off of IU Kokomo, and it'll be Red Wolves basketball.
Back in for the Cougars, number 42, Micah Peer.
Micah Peer returns to the game for IU Kokomo. 58-43, the Red Wolves up by 15 with 7:40 to go here in the second half. Claypool brings it down the floor for the Red Wolves. Over to the left side to Vache Davis. Back out top to Claypool. And Vache Davis was cutting underneath the basket that time. Here's Fegman, right corner to Vache Davis. Takes it down to the basket. Finds Brad Hunt. Hunt struggling to hang on the ball, but gets this one to fall 60-43. Largest lead of the ball game, up by 17. Just a little over 7 minutes to play. Campbell with the ball is going to get his own rebound that time and score the putback. 60-45, down to a 15-point game after that basket by Jerome Campbell. Here's Jacoby Claypool, brought it down the floor for the Red Wolves, and Huffman going down low to the left block. Both him and Hunt on the blocks. Vache Davis started to cut over. Comes back out as Fangman cuts and curls. And pass down inside to Brad Hunt. Slams this one down, 62-45.
They finally got IU Kokomo to get out of that 2-3 zone. And, anytime you're playing 6'9", one-on-one, it's tough. And got the defender to bite on the pass, and it's just a clear lane to the basket for Brad Hunt.
Red Wolves back up by 17. That's a foul going to go against Vache Davis.
Thought Vache had a clear block and a chance to set a new school record for team blocks.
His second, team 7th.
62-45. That's going to put Micah Peer at the line to shoot 2. First free throw by Peer, up and in, and it's going to be 62-46 with 6:08 to play. Here's the second free throw. This one up and in as well for the 6'9" freshman for IU Kokomo. This one's going to be a 30-second timeout taken by IU Kokomo. Welcome back to men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. There's a little bit of a lack of music here inside the Tiernan Center, but the Hound crowd had us taken care of. A little bit of the Jeopardy theme song and also Sweet Caroline there during our media timeout. I made the comment, I felt like they're kind of looking up here at us. They want to get this game over before long, and the free throw there by Brad Hunt will fall in 63-47 with 5:28 to play.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys are just excited for the weekend as we are, Caleb.
And speaking of the weekend, glad you brought that up. Both free throws good for Brad Hunt, but the Red Wolves back in action for the final doubleheader of the regular season. That one's going to be held at Earlham College, but considered a home game for the Red Wolves. And men will play at 3, women will play at 1. It's on Sunday. They'll take on Point Park at Earlham College. Right now, 5:11 to play, and a shot up by Campbell, blocked by Fegman. And Hunt able to gain control of the ball for the Red Wolves. 5 minutes to go here at Richmond High School inside the Tiernan Center.
Big swat by Tyler. You don't get him to see his ups very often, but elevated big time for that block.
Huffman with the basket that time for the Red Wolves, makes it 66-47.
And there you have the highlights for both the women's basketball game and the men's basketball game against IU Kokomo. Both teams picked up a win. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. That sound means that it is time for Wolf Center. Wolf Center is where we take a look back at last week's IU East results and ahead to next week's schedule. You can download the Wolf House sound you just heard for free by going to the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store and downloading the free IU East Athletics app. Now let's take a look back at last week's IU East schedule. The results: on February 3rd, the women's basketball team lost to Cincinnati Christian 79-75. Kristen Miller had 22 points and 4 steals for IU East. Also on February 3rd, the men's basketball team also fell to CCU 87-73. Jacoby Claypool had 23 points and 2 steals. On February 5th, the women's basketball team swept IU Kokomo for the second time this season 93-77. Tia King had 21 points and 8 rebounds. On February 5th, the men's basketball team also defeated the Cougars 74-60. Brad Hunt had 13 rebounds, 6 rebounds, and a new school record with 8 blocks. On February 8th, women's basketball fell to kayak opponent Point Park 103-79. Kerrigan Niehoff had a double-double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. On February 8th, the men's basketball team clinched the Kayak North Division with an 84-81 victory in overtime. Houston Clark had 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Tyler Fangman also had the go-ahead three-pointer for the Red Wolves in overtime on Senior Day. Now taking a look ahead at next week's schedule, on February 14th, the women's basketball team back in action at Rio Grande. That game's scheduled to start at 2 p.m. And also on Valentine's Day, the men's basketball team at Rio Grande as well. 4 p.m. tip-off time for the men's basketball team. Both games can be viewed online at iueredwolves.com. With Sunday's win over Point Park, the Red Wolves men's basketball team will host at least the first 2 games of the kayak tournament. That concludes this week's episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.